Good evening, class. Welcome to your daily current affairs on Paper Hindu. So we'll see what are the important articles for today. Right. So first article, consecration today. PM priests to lead ceremonies. సో ఈ రోజు అయోధ్యలో రామ టెంపుల్ ఇనాగ్రేషన్ జరుగుతుంది, కాన్సిక్రేషన్. సో ఫర్ దాట్ దిస్ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి a prestigious one and it has already been done. Over 13,000 security personnel deployed as Ayodhya prepares for the temple Ram temple event, which is called the Pran Pratishta. The event is named as Pran Pratishta. 8,000 guests were invited to the ceremony, which is set to begin 20 minutes afternoon. So afternoon 20 minutes, 12 o'clock, 12:20 ఆ టైంకి స్టార్ట్ అయింది and it is done. Okay, so the temple town of Ayodhya was decked with flowers, filled with bhajans and covered with multi-layered security blanket on the day of this Pran Pratishta consecration ceremony to be held on Ram temple today. అయోధ్యలో రాముడి ప్రతిష్ట ఈరోజు జరుగుతుంది. ఓకే, జరిగిపోయింది ఆల్రెడీ. రైట్. So what happened here? Security tightened as Anganwadi staff plan Chalo Vijayawada today. All over the state ఎవరైతే అంగన్వాడీస్ ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఇప్పుడు విజయవాడకి వెళ్దాము అన్నట్టుగా దే స్టార్టెడ్ డూయింగ్ దిస్ అండ్ ఫాస్టింగ్ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. సో ఇండెఫినెట్ ఫాస్ట్ ధర్నాలు చేయడం వల్ల అగైన్ దట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ టోల్డ్ దట్ డాక్టర్స్ ఏం చెప్పారంటే గ్లూకోజ్ లెవెల్స్ తగ్గుతున్నాయి. సో సంథింగ్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్ అడ్వర్స్లీ. No protest is allowed within the limit of NTR Police Commissionerate as Section 144 of CRPC is in force, says police. So Section 144 ఉండడం వల్ల ఈ ఎన్టీఆర్ పోలీస్ కమిషనరేట్ దగ్గర మాత్రం వాళ్ళు ఎటువంటి ప్రొటెస్ట్ చేయకూడదు అని చెప్పారు. సో సెక్యూరిటీస్ హ్యావ్ ఆల్సో బీన్ డిప్లాయిడ్. సో దే ఆర్ ఫైటింగ్ ఫర్ దేర్ ఓన్ కన్సర్న్స్ అండ్ ఇస్ బీన్ రైట్ నౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ లాస్ట్ 41 days over 11-point agenda ఉంది, like salaries increasing and their extra benefits, pensions, all these things have been asked. ESMA was also been levied on them, essential services కింద వాళ్ళని పెట్టి వాళ్ళు ఖచ్చితంగా ఆఫీసెస్కి వెళ్ళాలి అని చెప్పారు, బట్ దే హెవెంట్ అటెండెడ్ సో ఫార్. రైట్ నౌ ఇఫ్ ద గవర్నమెంట్ డిసైడ్స్ then all these Anganwadi people can also be removed. That is the level of importance or what can ESMA do. Okay, right. We'll go with the next article. So political news, you are just skipping that. So these are all related to this Lord Ram inauguration today. So the temple inauguration today. Everything is that related. So I'm just keeping it out. Yes. Nisar mission. NASA and ISRO. కలిపి చేసే మిషన్ నిసార్ మిషన్ on track for launch soon. So NASA official has mentioned. So it is on track. They are going on track. Everything is going on as planned. So NASA and ISRO are extremely eager to find out ways to collaborate on Earth science, planetary science, and human space programs. That is what the project scientist of NISAR at JPL has mentioned. Okay, JPL is nothing but Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Okay, Thiruvananthapuram. Right, NASA ISRO synthetic Aperture radar mission. So this is what NISAR means. NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar mission is designed to observe the natural process and changes in Earth's complex ecosystems. The final test of the mission are scheduled for this week. So ఈ week లో final test అనేది schedule అవ్వడం జరిగింది. The NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar mission designed to observe the natural process and changes in Earth's complex ecosystem is on track for early 2024 launch. So in this first beginning of quartile, we can expect the launching. Okay, right. The final test of the mission of Earth observing mission is scheduled in this particular week. That is what they have mentioned. As we speak, everything except the acoustic test has been completed. So except for the acoustic test, sound test, the vibration test was also completed yesterday, which is on Jan 20. Final tests were planned to this particular week, which is on track. The data will be placed here. The volume of the data will be enormous, and it helps us to have a reliable set of measurements over any spot on the earth where we want to do science or monitoring applications, forest management, agriculture monitoring, or even just approaching the hurricane. So everything can be monitored. Huge volume of data can be taken as input. It can be extracted out of this particular mission. So that is what they mentioned. That can be agriculture usage, or that can be forest management, or any other monitoring applications can be procured using this NISAR mission. Okay, so high resolution data can be expected, and the missile life is 3 years. Okay, so the data will be placed on a respective data service in India and US that will be made open to the public essentially as soon as they're processed validated data product. So for many synthetic aperture radar missions, it is simply not the case. So what they're trying to do, they're going to open the data publicly for the general public. So open source ga పెడుతున్నారు after analyzing what is the situation. So based on this machine, they can able to understand changes in the earth ecosystem that might be related to ice mass, or see here, vegetation biomass, sea level rise, or groundwater, natural hazards including earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes, landslides, whatever it is that they're going to focus upon. Okay, right. Next, Museveni regrets Indians' expulsion by Idi Amin in 1970s. Um, this will come under your IR part. Just what is an update, we'll see. So, what is this article about? Nearly 52 years after Ugandan dictator. So, in Uganda, there was a dictator 52 years ago named Idi Amin, who made Indians and other South Asian nations who were residing in Uganda were expelled. So, this particular dictator, Idi Amin, made many of the Indians to get out of their country. Okay, so right now the existing president, whoever it is, the Yoweri Museveni is the existing president of Uganda. He mentioned in this 19th Non-Aligned Summit, which was held in the capital of Kampala, he mentioned that we are regretting this decision. So it is a huge regret for us, for our end, where we expelled Indians from our country. So understand how they are giving value to our country. That's all. That is something which you need to understand. Okay, so Uganda was moving very well in 1960s, and then we had a man called Idi Amin. He came and took over the government. We decided to fight him, but in a very short time, he expelled our Asians who had come from Asia and settled here. So almost like 80,000 Indians and thousands of Pakistanis and Bangladesh citizens were expelled. So they were in thousands. India were around 80,000 population who have been expelled out of it. But in 19th NAM summit ఏదైతే జరిగిందో ఈ ఇయర్ ఉగాండన్ క్యాపిటల్ సిటీలో, అక్కడ వాళ్ళు చెప్పడం ఏంటంటే వీ రిగ్రెట్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ డెసిషన్. ఓకే, రైట్. నెక్స్ట్ ఆర్టికల్. 81% of citizens' responses have affirmed the idea of simultaneous polls. So you already are aware of this particular simultaneous polls. Right now, a high-level committee was established, and it is being presided by our ex-president Ramnath Kovind Garu. So what this committee is trying to work on is that they are going to understand the scenarios on how far they can establish this simultaneous polls in the country. That means in the central level elections, that might be the Lok Sabha elections, and here the state legislative assembly elections, how far it is compatible to have these both elections be completed at once. So how can they get these both elections done in the central level and state level simultaneously? Regarding this, they have formed one committee and they are currently working on the possibilities. In that possibilities, this was open for public opinion, and 81% of the citizen responses have affirmed this simultaneous election. That means they're favorable. So Ramnath Kovind led high-level committee on One Nation, One Election has received 20,000 responses from citizens, and 81% of them affirmed the idea of simultaneous elections. That is what Law Ministry has mentioned. The ministry issued a press statement after the ministry has held its third meeting here. The next meeting will be held on January 27th. Although 20,972 responses were received out of 81% from this simultaneous elections. So apart from this particular responses too, still they have to work on what are the consequences or what are the aspects that they have to cover. Okay. Recently, the Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge had written to the panel asking if it to abandon the idea as it was undemocratic and violative to the basic structure of the constitution. Law Ministry said that the views of the election commission were noted by the committee. So you need to understand that every other committees or every other stakeholders' opinion is being taken, and once it is being formulated, we will know whether we are going for simultaneous elections or a separate ones. But as of now, in 2024, we are not going for the simultaneous elections. Maybe for the next after 5 years, if they implement it, we will be going for the simultaneous elections. Right. So yes, one more thing about the ecosystem part. This mosquito fish called Gambusia. Okay, Gambusia affinis, Gambusia holbrooki. Okay, these are used to fight mosquitoes actually. Okay, they are being used in our ecosystem so that it will reduce these mosquitoes. But right now, what happened is that this Gambusia species have turned out to be invasive alien species in India. Okay, so that is something you need to understand. So Gambusia species is a species of mosquito fish which originated in US but today have become global inhabitants are notorious for the detrimental ecological impact. So దీని మీద just some data చూద్దాం, then we can go. Okay, the world's climate and habitats have changed noticeably in the last century, accelerating the spread of mosquito-borne diseases. Today, these diseases prevail in more than 150 countries worldwide. What? Mosquito-borne diseases. Okay, affecting more than 500 people. In India alone, 40 million individuals contract mosquito-borne diseases, which are vector-borne diseases. Under mosquito-borne diseases, every year in India, 40 million people will be affected. Okay, and so mosquito-borne illness have remained a persistent public health concern for many decades as of now. In this regard, this Gambusia species has been introduced into the country so as to control this mosquitoes. Okay, but right now what happening? This Gambusia species have turned out into invasive one. Okay, it is affecting the ecosystem. That is something you need to understand. And this has been introduced to reduce malaria, which is again a mosquito-borne disease. So Gambusia was first introduced in India in 1928 before independence. During British rule, later various government organizations such as ICMR and the National Institute of Malaria Research took over as part of their efforts to combat malaria. So the strategy was well intended, but it backfired, leading to severe ecological and environmental problems. So that is something you need to understand. So species name తెలుసుకుంటే చాలండి. Bushia affinis and holbrooki. Okay, alright. జస్ట్ అన్ అప్డేట్. ఇప్పటి వరకు ఇజ్రాయెల్ గాజా వార్ జరుగుతూనే ఉంది కదా. సో ఈ వార్లో ఇప్పటి వరకు 25,000 పీపుల్ చనిపోయారు, బోత్ సైడ్స్ ఆఫ్ పాలస్తీన్ అండ్ ఇజ్రాయెల్. ఓకే, నౌ గ్రోత్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా అండ్ బంగ్లాదేశ్ ties. What is the support? What impact will Bangladesh PM Sheikh Hasina electoral victory have on the country's bilateral relationship with India? What is the state of economic cooperation between the two South Asian countries? How is China making its presence felt? So, మన యొక్క బార్డరింగ్ కంట్రీస్ మన యొక్క ఇంటర్నల్ సెక్యూరిటీకిను ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రిలేషన్స్కి చాలా మేజర్ రోల్ ప్లే చేస్తుంది. అండ్ ఇన్ ద కరెంట్ ఎలక్షన్స్ షీ హ్యాస్ వన్ పిఎం Sheikh Hasina has been elected as Prime Minister for the fourth time in a row. Okay, and we have also supported her. Okay, we'll see the gist and then we'll go with this article. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina returned to power in Bangladesh for a historic fourth straight term earlier this month after her party, the Awami League, secured two-thirds of the seats in January 7th national elections. So, Valajarian national elections, she has won again for the fourth time in a row. Okay, PM Modi and Sheikh Hasina made history last year when they inaugurated Akhora Agartala rail link that connects Bangladesh and the northeast through Tripura. So what happened? We have moved a historical thing between India and Bangladesh, where we have opened this particular Akhora and Agartala link, inaugurated that, which will be connecting Bangladesh and the northeast to Tripura. So Tripura is the connecting point between India and your Bangladesh. So I'll tell you Akhora and Agartala rail link. So let me open. I hope this image is somewhat blurry, but yeah, understand here. This is Bangladesh. So we are going to connect this from Tripura of northeast to India via Bangladesh. So ikkadunna India ni మనం link up చేస్తున్నాం via Bangladesh. That is why this is a prestigious project for us. Okay, so that is something you need to understand. This is how we are going to connect them. Clear? Akhora and Agartala rail link. This was happened. So as a historical move, we have done through Tripura. Adding to India's concerns, its deepening relationship between Bangladesh and China marked by substantial Chinese investments in the infrastructure in recent years. So this has been a positive move between India and Bangladesh, but China is also adding up its infrastructure investment into Bangladesh heavily, which is again a matter of concern for India. Okay, now what about the economic cooperation which we have with them? Okay, so first thing that we have to see, bilateral trade with India, between India and Bangladesh, have grown steadily in the last decade, and it has emerged. Bangladesh has emerged as India's largest trade partner in South Asia. Important. So in India, for India, the largest trade partner in South Asia is Bangladesh, with a bilateral trade reaching to $18 billion in 2021-2022 from $10.8 billion in 2020 and 21. So within 1 year span, our bilateral trade relation has increased nearly $8 billion. So approximately like $7 billion, assume. So there was a dip. Though there was a dip in 22-23 due to the pandemic and Russia-Ukraine war, India is also the second biggest trade partner for Bangladesh, with exports amounting to $2 billion in Indian markets. And Bangladesh నుంచి మన ఇండియన్ మార్కెట్స్కి వచ్చే ఆ ఒక products, trade products ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో, that worth around $2 billion. So in 2022, both nations concluded a joint feasibility study of comprehensive economic partnership agreement. So this is also one of the free trade agreements. The agreement typically designed to reduce and eliminate custom duties on traded goods, simplify trade norms, and is anticipated to open up broader social and economic opportunities. So as I told you, this is a free trade agreement where certain customs duties will be compromised or will be reduced. Okay, and simpler trade norms will be there. Dhaka will be eager to finalize this free trade agreement with New Delhi and also pursue the China-backed regional comprehensive economic partnership. The dual approach raises concerns for India. So you need to understand that they are doing this for India. Good. Okay. Now the same wise they are going to have a separate agreement with China, which is RCEP. Again, that is a matter of concern for India. SEPA also gains this CEP also gains additional significance as Bangladesh is set to lose its least development country status after 2026, thereby losing its duty-free and quota-free market access in India. So you need to understand that this will be removed in 2026. That means Bangladesh is going into a developed arena. I mean, it is into its path of developing stage where its least developed country status will be lost. Now, once if the status is being lost, what is the issue is that whatever the free trade agreement that we have with them, like a duty free or a quota free market access in India, that will be lost to Bangladesh because that is a least developed country. That is why we are coming up with CEPA. The same way, China is also having a relation or a trade agreement they are going to work upon, which is RCEP. That is why we are concerned. What about the infrastructure? As I told you, we have that rail link, which is a Kora Agartala prestigious project, which is worth of around $7 billion. The link has given India access to Chattogram and Mongla ports in Bangladesh for the movement of cargo. It is most likely to boost small scale industries, especially in northeast areas of Assam and Tripura. So in the energy sector, Bangladesh nearly imports 2,000 megawatts of electricity from India. So they have this dependency on India for electricity, where 2,000 megawatts of electricity is being imported into their country. The BIMSTEC Master Plan for Transport Connectivity focus on connecting major transport projects in India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand. So this is a connectivity with the Southeast nations, okay? Myanmar, Thailand, and South Asian countries, assume. India, thereby establishing a shipping network. So India's attention will be primarily directed towards the Matabari port, located 100 kilometers from Tripura, which Bangladesh is building. That is why we have interest, because once we have grip on these particular infrastructure or port related places, our cargo movement and trade will be easier. That is why we are focusing on that. The port will establish a crucial industrial corridor linking Dhaka and the northeast part of India, as I already said. So it is going to link Dhaka in the sense Bangladesh capital city, and it is linking it with northeast. What does it do? With this, we can improve connectivity with the northeast area, which is actually feeling as a leftover. So it feels that we are being left over from the part of the government. So we are being treated less. That is what the opinion of northeast mostly. So right now, what this infrastructure do? It will create a path or a way to integrate northeast with the mainland. Okay, what are the points of tension? Of course, Tista River dispute, that is one of the agenda or center stage for this Hasina-led government. The issue revolves over the sharing of Tista river water sharing of Tista between Bangladesh and India for the equitable distribution. Another contentious matter is the Rohingya issue. again the people who are being coming and being settling into the country. So again, we are not entertaining Rohingyas into our country. These are illegal immigrants, which we completely stop because we are worried about the influx of terrorists in the name of Rohingyas. Okay, right? Hasina government aims for the peaceful repatriation of Rohingyas to Myanmar, but its talks with the military junta has been unsuccessful so far. So another issue is that these Rohingyas actually belong to Myanmar. Now these people have been spread all over other territorial countries like India or Bangladesh, which will be a matter of, again, economically, if you take it, will be a matter of burden. Financial burden will be there on the particular state, a state in the sense that country. Next, even the social burden, these people will be felt as leftover and treated as alien to the local people. Next, again, if you consider about the security issue, how can we entertain a particular person, I mean particular nation's citizen as our nation until unless you know whether they are harmful or not. So in this particular regard, Hasina was very much interested. Hasina's government was very much interested to sort out the issues with Myanmar and to make these Rohingyas being settled into the country. So right now, Myanmar, you know that this is a country where you have military rule. Military coup has already taken over the government. So with that junta, she has been speaking up, but completely it was right now unsuccessful. Right now, what is the matter is that now Bangladesh is asking India's cooperation to influence Myanmar. But the Modi government, which has ties with the junta, asserts that it will deport Rohingyas from its mainland. So that is what we have. We have a positive relation with Myanmar as well. That is why we are just having a bad step towards it, right? What about the global ties? US have been vocal with the criticism of Awami League movement or government exerting the pressure on Sheikh Hasina over the democratic backsliding. In 2021, Biden government slapped sanctions on Bangladeshi anti-crime and anti-terrorism task force, citing human rights violations and escalated tensions by announcing a policy to restrict visas for Bangladesh. It is believed to be responsible for undermining the election process in the country. So what happened here is that in the name of protecting the country, in the name of protecting citizens, they have established this anti-crime and anti-terrorism task force, which was completely threatening the rights of the citizens. That is why Biden government from US have given certain sanctions, have announced sanctions and escalated tensions between both the nations. Okay, and they have also opened that because of this only this government of Hasina has won by curbing all these issues. Okay, adding to India's concerns with the deepening relationship with Bangladesh and China marked substantial Chinese investments in the past years, especially in infrastructure. China built 12 highways, 21 bridges, and 27 power energy projects in Bangladesh, as per the Chinese brand ambassador to Bangladesh. So that is why has maintained that her government is very much careful with its partnership with China. Because again, if they accept and go with the flow, again they might be involved into a debt trap where their sovereignty have to be compromised. So as this is important article, I've discussed very clearly about it. So yes, that's it for today. We'll meet again in tomorrow's session. This will be continuous. Thank you.